As Mrs. Richard Lewis, wife of famous comedian Richard Lewis, but that's not true. I'm not nearly tall or neurotic enough, but I did try to audition for the part, and that comes in my love object. I have this problem. I become obsessed, wildly obsessed with people. My obsession blocks out the sun. I can think of nothing. And one day it flashed on comedian Richard Lewis. I don't know whether it was the big eyes or the constant kvetching. I'm a mother, so I can hear people whine all day long. Doesn't bother me. Maybe it was the forehead to the hand of the forehead, the pacing, the ranting. Something spoke to me. I was going to be the princess to his prince of pain. It was going to be a marriage not made in hell, not from hell, but rather from heaven. And I practically quit my job. I spent all my time researching Richard Lewis. And in my research, I found out he was going to come to New York. And I thought, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm leaving the family. I'm taking out $1,000 because it's New York. It's $50 just to sneeze there. I jump on a bus and I go down. And the first thing I do is I realize, well, he may not love me, but I know he loves corned beef sandwiches because I found this out in an interview. So I go to the Carnegie Deli, which is a very famous deli. I buy the most expensive corned beef. It's like a $200 corned beef sandwich. It's like this big. All these napkins, because he's a very messy eater, which I found out too. So I've got my sandwich. I've got now like my $900 because it's a $100 sandwich, and I make my way to Caroline's. And of course I'm there, and I try to chat up the host. Oh, I'm a big fan of his, and I'd really like to get to meet him. Maybe you could kind of tell me where he's staying. And I peel off 100, and the guy's like, well, I really can't. And he's like, he's at the Mayflower Hotel. Don't tell anybody. I'm like, psych. So, and I go, I sit, and the first comedian comes out, and a whole bunch of dick jokes, and she's okay. But I notice next to me this table of women, they're getting a little nutty. It's a bachelorette party. They're getting a little crazy, a little drunk, and I'm getting a little nervous because they're getting a little rowdy, not really paying attention to the show. On comes Mr. Lewis. My heart is pounding. Oh, there he is. Oh, my God, it's Mr. Lewis. But he proceeds to bomb. If you can imagine that a veteran comedian could just fall flat on his face. He can't get a joke out. The women are heckling him like I've never seen. I'm having a heart attack. It's like watching a car crash, basically. He gets in the middle of a joke, and he goes like, that's it, I've had it. And he walks off, and I'm like, oh, I must go console him. I must kiss his furrowed brow and wipe the tears from his, I'm the one, that's why I'm here with the sandwich. So I find out from the maitre d' that he's out of there. He's gone back to the Mayflower. So I, of course, in hot pursuit, go to the Mayflower Hotel with some idea that I'm going to hook up with him. And you're wondering, well, just how drunk are you? And pretty darn drunk. This whole thing is kind of fueled by that. So I get to the hotel, and so I go up to the concierge, and I say, I'm a huge fan. I got to meet Mr. Lewis. And I'm trying to peel off money, sandwich, money. And he's like, no, you cannot come back. He's, no, I know to go. You must go away. No. And I'm like, I know I seem like a psychopath, but it's me, psychopath, with a sandwich. You have to let me in. And he's not having it. And I'm like, I got all the way here. I'm not going back out there. I can't. I'm too far from home. So he gets distracted by a phone call, and that's it. I'm like, this is my moment of truth. I dart past him, go to the elevators. There's an elevator open. I jump in. Doors, let's go back. And it shuts on his face, and I hit a button. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going. And I go up, I get off on the 20th floor. I'm like, well, now what, crazy drunk lady? But I hear this voice down the hall, and I'm like, that's kind of, and I start creeping out. And then I hear the whining and that familiar cadence of fetching, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Richard Lewis. I found his hotel room out of 300 hotel rooms. I find his room, and I've got my ear by the door and the sandwich. I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm about to knock. It's going to be destiny. It's kismet. He's going to see me, the sandwich. It's going to be beautiful. This, as the time, I suddenly feel this hand on my shoulder. Yes, the concierge, in hot pursuit of me, pulls me back into the elevator. He's yelling at me in some language. I'm crying. We get downstairs. He's like, you have to get out of here. I'm like, well, can I just sit in the lobby? And oh, go sit, get away. So I sit down, and I'm like, this didn't really work out like I planned. And, maybe famous people have a right to be left alone from the unbridled madness of, weirdo losers like myself and their sandwiches. And I think, let sleeping comedians lie. And then I suddenly realized that I'm incredibly hungry because I haven't eaten through this whole thing. And I'm looking at the sandwich, and the sandwich is looking at me, and I'm like, fuck him. And I eat the sandwich. Thank you.